Have you ever been in a toxic relationship that you knew that it was absolutely draining you and just keeping you away from being the best version of yourself? Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's time to ignite your sobriety. And in today's video, I want to talk about breaking free from alcohol because, yes, like I said before, it can feel like you're in a toxic relationship with someone. Because when you think about a toxic relationship, right? And when we correlate it with alcohol, yes, they both can potentially seduce you and leave you with highs of euphoria and feeling incredible. But in reality, in the long run of things, in the long term of things, it can actually be doing more damage than we realize. It promises us feelings of joy, of happiness, of relaxation, of peace and fun. But come on, what's the real cost here? These short-lived pleasures often exploit our vulnerabilities, such as stress, low self-esteem, and ultimately our self-worth. And oftentimes this affects our mental impact, our mental health, because as time continues to go on, you will slowly begin to realize that you become more dependent. Like you have to have alcohol, you have to have it. And this is the smoke and mirrors part of it, because you often associate having fun, having a good time, being the best version of yourself with alcohol. And I know those were the pitfalls that I got stuck in for numerous times in my year before I got sober. Especially in my mid-20s, I was constantly chasing a feeling of euphoria. I was constantly chasing a thrill. I was constantly wanting to reach that because honestly, when I was sober, I felt like I couldn't achieve that. I felt like I was bland. I felt like this is boring. And I was tricked. Just like in a toxic relationship, because oftentimes in toxic relationships, there's one person who often may keep us delusional, or they may be giving mixed flags, or they may be saying something but doing something else. It's all toxic. And unfortunately, I'm gonna be clean with you guys. At one point in my relationships, I was the toxic one. I was very manipulative. I was very egotistical. And it's ironic to me that alcohol was doing that to me. And it was mirroring that image, being a mirror to me to do it to others. And that goes into the cycle of false promises. And this is where things become deceptive. And I call it the deceptive cycle, right? Every time we reach for a drink, in our minds, we're thinking that hopefully it will be different, or hopefully we can get to that peak, and hopefully it won't lead to the same consequences. Hangovers, dumb decisions when we wake up in the morning, text messages that shouldn't have been sent, words that shouldn't have been said. We wish that every time it's gonna be a different outcome. You can't dodge these inevitable lows, even if you wanna mask it, even if you wanna turn the other way with these lows. They are gonna be there because you're stuck on this loop, you're stuck in this hamster wheel, you're stuck in this rut. And that's when it's going to take some courage to stand your ground, stand up for yourself, and realize this isn't right. Have the courage to break free. Ending any toxic relationship takes strength and courage, being bold. And it's the same when it comes ending this toxic relationship with alcohol. As someone who was addicted and loved alcohol for about 14 years of my life, it took a good 12 of finally being able to stand up, be bold, be courageous, be disciplined, and show up. No longer being deceived, no longer putting up with the lies of what I thought alcohol was telling me I was being better at because of it. No longer being a slave. I was free. I broke free. And that's what we have to do. It's about saying no more to what harms us, and instead saying yes to what improves us, improving our health, improving our focus, improving our mental health, improving our leadership, improving being a better husband, a better spouse, improving being a better parent, a better father, a better mother, a better business owner, improving our energy levels, improving our sleep, all these things. That's what we're saying yes to. And here's a tip to start you off in breaking free from this toxic relationship of alcohol. The first step is setting boundaries. It's all about taking those baby steps first. You know, you got to crawl before you walk, right? You got to walk before you run. And I think this is where I fell short numerous times on this journey. Is I always thought I was going to go cold turkey and that was going to be it. But when I reflect back, and now being over 820 so days sober, I realized it took that curiosity, it took the initiative, it took that bold action to begin with just taking a day off, going dry for a weekend, going dry for a week, pushing myself like, you know what, for 30 days, I'm gonna go dry and see exactly the benefits from this. And it really took me actually jotting down on paper those results and being able to see it. Like, yes, I went through it, but really being able to compare and contrast what was different. And eventually that spiraled into a positive avalanche and getting to where I'm at now. Because at the end of the day, it's all about reclaiming our power and our identity. No, you're not an alcoholic. You may have got addicted to alcohol throughout the years, right? But that doesn't define you. You're more than that. And I always go back to the saying, like when we were kids, no one's an alcoholic. We're all children who want to grow and become whatever we want in life. When we step away from alcohol, we then begin to reclaim our identity that we lost from alcohol's influence. We then begin to rediscover our happiness, our hobbies, our goals, our focus. More importantly, just being aware, being present with the things that may be going by every single day that we don't appreciate. We start regaining and rebuilding how we were meant to be when we entered this world. As someone right now who's speaking to you guys at 35 years old and being over 2 years sober when I made that decision when I turned 33, I'm just so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful that I'm able to change the narrative in my hereditary, in my gene pool of being the one who went sober and being able to lead and show my kids the positivities of remaining sober. I'm so grateful that I'm able to show up for them each and every day. I'm grateful I'm able to communicate and be a great leader, not only for my business, but for my community, and be able to be a role model per se, and really practice what I preach. I'm so grateful to be on here with sharing these stories to hopefully influence many of you out there who may have been like me. It took me, I was scared to even talk about subjects like this, but creating videos like this and seeing it being a motivator, inspiring, and helpful to many of you guys, I'm so grateful for. And these are some of the joys. I'm so grateful I got the joy to run again, to be disciplined, to get back on a better diet, to think clear, to not have to worry about making stupid mistakes under the influence of anything, or drinking and driving, or I'm just so blessed, okay? And you too can be having your own testimony and seeing what you can become by leaving a toxic relationship like alcohol. In closing thoughts, I just want to leave you guys with this, that choosing to end your toxic relationship with alcohol is truly putting you first and prioritizing you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about knowing for a fact that you can be anything you want to be in this world. It's knowing that you can achieve anything, but you always have to put the work behind it. And quite frankly, you can't put your best work when it's being poisoned and held down by someone toxic. And in this case, we're talking something toxic, and that's alcohol. You deserve to be genuinely happy and not dependent on a drink to bring you that joy. And if you want to see more sobriety content like this, consider subscribing to the channel. I hope you guys continue to ignite your sobriety. I love you.